Good morning. Happy Monday.
Good morning, Sheena. I heard it's cold in Chicago.
It is not warm, that's for sure. That is for sure. There's, yes, a cold front for sure, but it's okay. I actually have to try to fly to New York tomorrow,
Yep,
which LaGuardia was
that's
closed yesterday, so that's
no.
fun.
Oh, no. Are you going with
Yeah.
Gus?
Yes, yes, we have I think it's been 10 weeks, 12 weeks since his last checkup, and, hopefully this one normally for all of his procedures, he's been going under anesthetic or anesthesia, sorry, so they can get a good look at his eye, but, this one, we're hoping he just gets to do pictures because he's a big boy now, he's 5, so he can hopefully sit
Goodness.
still and get a good look at the eye, and which would
Oh,
be
that's
wonderful for him because he gets super, super anxious going under anesthesia, and I also get anxious and he hates it, and
I bet. Yeah,
yeah, so we'll see. Yeah, but it's fun. He gets excited to go. It's a fun trip. We're gonna stay at
I
a
know.
hotel and he loves the hotel stays and he's so good about flying now. Like it's awesome. So I mean,
That's
I don't
amazing.
love why we have to go, but it's fun to make it fun.
Yeah, and as long as he doesn't expect that room upgrade you got that one time with the
Of course.
bathtub and the
Yeah.
view,
Should we
right?
tell that story real fast? That was a
Yeah,
good
let's
story.
do it.
So the first trip that Serbia actually could not make with me and Gus to go to for one of his checkup appointments. We always usually book we get Amex deals or we try to book with Amex. They always have really good points and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
so we stayed at this one hotel which we really, really liked. The smell of my chair. And it was just me and Gus. So we show up on a Tuesday night, check into the hotel, and he was just kind of standing beside me. And the woman at the front desk was like, "It's just you guys for one night?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, we're just here." And she's like, "Okay." And she kind of gives me like this like little look, and I was like, "Okay." And she hands me the key card, and
Mhm.
I didn't really, I don't even know if I knew how many floors were in the hotel, but I was like, this is high. And she's like, "You guys are gonna stay in the penthouse tonight." And I was like, "What?" And I was like, and she had already taken our credit card, and I was like, I kind of like immediately panicked. I was like texting Serbia. I was like, did you do this? Like, was this you?" And she, of course, she's like, "No." And I was like, "Okay." And the woman was just like, just we're thanks for staying with us all this time. Like, you guys have fun or whatever. And she kind of gave Gus a high five. And they don't know why we're there. Like, we weren't, we're not really that upfront about it. And so we get into the hotel or into the elevator, and I look at the key card, and sure enough, it's like 45, and like our key card says 45, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And so we go all the way up and walk into the room, and it's I mean, it's New York, right? Like it's like 2 levels. There's a spiral staircase. There's this
I didn't know that.
massive, massive like couch with a fireplace and a kitchen. And like Gus is just like, "Oh my gosh!" And he starts running around the place. He runs upstairs. I mean, there's 3 bedrooms up there with like king size beds and like two
Well, I
separate
didn't know
bathrooms.
this. Oh,
I'm like,
that's
gee,
great.
it was like, I think we looked later and like this penthouse would have been it was near like 5 to 10K a night. A night. Yes. Like it was insane.
Wow.
So of course, like Gus just thinks it's the coolest place ever. And like we get room service and like, we're there for one night. So I'm like, don't touch anything. I didn't want him to break anything, and I didn't want the maids to have to do extra work. Like that's where my brain goes. It's like, but yeah, so he finds the bathtub, and of course, like the bathtub has this massive window beside it, and you're overlooking Central Park. And so I have this picture of Gus, like it's a tasteful picture, bubbles and all that. And he's got Central Park in the background of this like massive like smile. And lo and behold, I had to call Survey, and like I FaceTimed her, and I was like, "You'll never guess." And she's like, "Did you guys get upgraded?" And I was like, "Oh yeah."
Oh, yeah. Yes, we did.
Yeah, so we love that hotel, and, we unfortunately, Serbia didn't get to go. Like, she was kinda bummed, but,
Uh,
we haven't been upgraded since, and yeah, so Gus now has these, like, massive standards for hotels that
yeah,
we
I
cannot
would
live up
say
to, but
so.
yeah, but it was fun.
But
So,
you both
small
deserve
wins and, he's been through a lot, and so it's whenever we can get, small wins like that, it was pretty cool, so
amazing. Well, safe
yeah.
travel to New
Thank you.
York.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thanks for hanging in there for that. That was a long story, but it's always
No,
fun to
I love it. I think it's good. Like we all like to be a little bougie once in a while, right? And
Oh,
if it's
yes.
free, it's even better.
Yeah, exactly. Free upgrades. Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of medical care, not for your son, but for the ladies, we're going to talk about the ladies today and perimenopause and menopause and hormone replacement therapy and all the things. And before we get into anything on kind of the medical side or nutrition or things like that, I thought Sheena could talk about fitness and training because there's a lot of buzz out there with some of the experts, like Stacy Sims is kind of one of the big names out there. And I'm going to let Sheena take it from here. But just one of the things I want you to talk about is, should women in perimenopause or menopause train differently? Why or why not? And can you talk about maybe one of your clients who is in perimenopause and maybe one that's in menopause, and how you've programmed for them, and a little bit about their lifestyle? That would be super helpful. I think that was like 3 questions in one, but
Let's go. How much time we got?
I know, let's do it.
Yeah. No, it's so it is kind of buzzworthy right now, right? Like I've listened to actually 2 different podcasts that with 2 people that kind of have conflicting information about this, and one of them is Stacy Sims, and the other one is Dr. Lauren Lauren Colenso. So they've been on the same podcast and actually had like a pretty cool debate. Dr. Spencer Nadolsky, the obesity doctor, he hosted them on his podcast, and I don't know how long ago this was, but it was super interesting because I really appreciated both of their viewpoints, honestly. Like, I love what Stacey's doing. Obviously, like, there's so many more females that are getting into strength training or into like high intensity workouts or just more consistent fitness routines because she's put out, she's using her platform well, I think, like to encourage women to strength train through all phases of their life, right? Like she's saying muscle is important. Awesome. Like protein is important, your consistency is important, showing up for yourself is important.
Mhm,
Sometimes, and I think like where some of the debate comes in between these 2 is like Stacy will say like, in the research that I'm doing with the women that I'm working with in particular, and sometimes that is perimenopause, sometimes it's menopausal women, like this is what we're seeing, right? So she's not really, she'll say like, yes, this is science backed, but it's not like well researched, not researched, like well published or like super funded studies, right? Like she's like, I'm looking at the women that I'm working with and like we're getting feedback from them, right? And so she'll say this, if they're doing fasted training or if they're doing, high intensity workouts, like this is the results that, or these are the results we're seeing, and this is the
mhm,
feedback we're getting. And Dr. Lauren, who is like much more into like published research studies, things like that, like will sometimes say, what you're saying, like it sounds like sometimes you're saying there's blanket advice that you're throwing out, like women should not do fasted training ever, right? Like we should have a little bit of protein or a little bit of carbs before our workouts, or women should never do hit or something like that, right? Like, I mean, she's not saying that. I think she really likes hit, but so they kind of had this like kind of back and forth about like when is it appropriate to like make a claim, right? And if you're making a claim, how many people are listening to this claim, and like how are they going to take that information, right? Which is on their part, like that's a tough thing, right? Like when you've got a platform and you're saying, hey, this is what I'm seeing, it might not apply to everyone. And I think that's what like Dr. Lauren is saying is like, it's it's hard enough being a female in the fitness stage right now. Like sometimes all we need to do is like know that it's like weightlifting is accessible. If you didn't have, your pre-workout carbs or your protein before, doesn't mean that you shouldn't go work out anyway. Like it's okay. You're not gonna pass out. Maybe you're gonna pass out, but like it's not gonna ruin your progress. You shouldn't like not go
no.
lift because you didn't have your protein coffee or whatever. Some people feel better when they don't eat before. Like then if that is fasted training, that doesn't mean you're doing it wrong, right? So I think there's so many, like sometimes we can create all of these rules that we think that we have to follow, which makes the barrier to entry for some people really, really daunting, right? Like if you're wanting to get into strength training, you're already scared of being bulky, you're already probably not eating enough, you're already not feeling well, and all of a sudden you're like, there's a list of 10 other things that you should be doing in order for it to be optimal, right? Which that's a whole nother discussion, right? Like Stacy does say, these are things that for optimal. Like if you're already doing X, Y, and Z, here's how we can take it up another step, right? But there's so many women out there that aren't already doing X, Y, and Z. So adding E, what's the next letters? E, F, G, H, like that can be really, really, it can be really tricky. It just can be really tricky. But I do think like both of them have so much to offer. And as always, like when you're taking in information from Instagram or from the internet or from podcasts, like sure, it's like, how does this apply to me? Right. And I think that's where I think we come in. I love talking about this stuff. One of my clients just sent me a podcast from Dr. Gabrielle Lyon, like talking about strength training and protein. And she's like, I'm eating 100 grams of protein. Should I be doing more? Like she says 0.8 grams, per whatever gram of body weight is the minimum. Like, am I missing out on something? And it's like, these are small nuances that I love talking about it. And like short answer is no, you're doing just fine. It does become about like how do we what foundation have we built? Where can we build from here? Like, are you able to get more? What are the benefits of more protein? Are we strength training enough to actually use that protein effectively? And, all those conversations from there. So yeah, I think that's part one of your question. Did I
Yeah,
answer all?
that's very helpful. Maybe we can tag in the show notes that
Mm,
Dr. Nadolsky's so
yeah.
when you YouTube or the show notes for Spotify, you could post that podcast episode. That would be really helpful. So I think you said a couple of really good things, Sheena, is that, we're going to get a lot of different advice and each expert is going to have their own experience. And I think one of the things I thought about before we got on today is that everybody brings their own bias based on what they believe, and it doesn't mean they don't have good intentions and they're not smart and that some of their advice is sound. I think it always needs to be personalized, though. We have to look at each person's situation, and there are so many other factors that play into it that, when we try to take blanket advice, the other thing that you said that I thought was great is that, let's not like add more barriers to entry and make it more confusing. Let's build that foundation, like get some experience in the gym, lower the stakes a little bit, and then you can fine tune things as you go. And once again, that's based on your experience and how your body's responding.
Hmm.
And I think that's where you come in and can provide, we actually share a client right now who has a 4-year-old and she hasn't done the training that she did like pre-baby. She's kind of just getting back into it. And she had been working with me pretty consistently. And I recommended that she start working with you because I know how good she feels when she's training again. And for somebody like that, it's going
Hmm.
to be very different than somebody who's in menopause. And,
Hmm.
she has a really intense job. She just got a promotion and she knows how good she feels when she works out, but she's got this big job, she's got a child, and managing that. And maybe you can tell, our listeners, what did she say about I think she just gave you some feedback about her training.
Yeah, yeah, she's so fun. So yeah, like you mentioned, like she's got if we're looking at like the foundations, right? Like we know that she's working on her nutrition. She's got that dialed in. She does have a stressful job. She's got a home gym and her biggest struggles were consistency, right? Like she loves strength training, so she's already pretty experienced in that sense. I love this case because like she was so good about I was like, what is your goal from like, if we were to touch base 6 months from now, what do you want to tell me that you achieved? Like what's your number one priority? And she's like, I wanna be consistent. Like, I just wanna get it to be a part of my life again. And so when I'm writing her training program, it's like, this is awesome. This is easy because I can find the movements that she likes. We set up the schedule that works best for her. Like, she works out one time on a weekday. That's what she's got available. Like,
Yep.
one Thursday morning, and it's like because every other day she's got meetings, like you said, like she's a boss lady, like she's got a lot of people reporting to her, and she has to be like she doesn't have 7 a.m. is not an option, like or before 7 on most days. So, but we pick the one day Thursday morning that she gets in there, she gets into her garage gym, and she gets it done. And I make sure that workout is not overly taxing. It's something that she looks forward to. It's not going to crush her for the rest of the day. And then the weekends are hers, which is great. She's like, I like working out on the weekends, and I have more time to do it and it's something that she enjoys, right? So like where some people want to relax on the weekends, that's like her time when she knows she can commit to
Yeah.
it. So we make the weekend days like Saturday and Sunday are tough days. Like her
Yeah.
Saturday is she's deadlifting and we've got her doing a lot of back to back like work that's tricky. And she's so good about giving me feedback as like, okay, this made me sore. I'm like, okay, skip this part or let's bring the weight down for Sunday. Like I want this to be something that she can continue to do week after week. And since we
Yeah.
started, she has not missed a workout. She hasn't missed a day. And I like if she did, it was because she was sick and we moved it over and she found a way, we moved Sunday to Monday and she found a way to make it happen. Like so she's got a workout streak going, which is awesome. And yeah, she's provided really good feedback. She's like, I'm loving it. I think it's like I'm looking forward to the workouts and it's really good. I can't remember. I think I shared a text with you just of like the feedback that she was giving because it was so awesome. But that stuff is so fun and it's like it's a personalized program to her, right? Like we're working on overall strength. We're not doing any cardio right now. We're not doing any sprints or like anything crazy because like her job is tough enough, right? Like being a mom and being with the promotion and things like that. Like we can phase into that stuff later, but like right now, if the goal is to like get her consistent and like make showing up for herself a habit again, like we can do this for months and she'll be better for it, right? Like she'll send me videos of her lifting too, and I can see how excited she is when she's lifting. Like she loves being in there. And like that's just it's so cool to give yourself that space. Yeah, I really love that.
Yeah, that is a great example. I think, there are so many little things in there that I think highlight the benefit of working with somebody who knows you personally, right? And you've got that feedback loop, which is really important, right? You want to know how they're feeling. How are they sleeping? Are they sore? Are they recovering well? What does their nutrition look like? All of these, are you more stressed at work? All of those factors play into it. And you're able to see what's motivating her and you know how to push her appropriately based on her goals. You're having that dialogue and she's got someone guiding her versus her wondering on her own, like, can I do this? Should I be doing this? Like, what should I be eating? Am I on the right path? Like, I feel like people, until they get started and get in a groove and get that foundation, they doubt themselves. And that's where you come in and you're helping. And you also get to see her posture, her facial expressions in those videos, and you know that she's feeling good. And then you can respond to that. And I also love about the app that you use, Coach RX, is that you can see a streak. So it's almost gamified
Hmm.
that like, hey, you're on a streak. And I think it even gives you like a fire emoji, you
Yeah.
know, 12 streak, like you haven't missed anything. And that's positive reinforcement too, that
Hmm.
I think people don't think about. And like just having somebody walking alongside you, knowing that you're on the right track. That's great. So yeah, congratulations. I'm so
No,
excited.
she's doing great. I have another client that just started too. Again, she's got a great background, and like I think we've done a week together. And she texted me this morning. She's like, I want to add a sixth day. Like, can we add a sixth day of like she's already training 4 days a week. I've got a fifth optional day in there for her that she can move around throughout the week and fit it in. And I had to pull her back. She was great. She's like, can we do this? Like I will do whatever you say. And like she gives great feedback too. I can tell she's heard us before because she'll give me feedback like eighth rep was eyes closed, ugly face. Like she's giving me the exact, and I'm like,
That's funny.
awesome. Like you're pushing it, which is awesome. And I actually for her, I'm like, let's give this a little bit more time. Like let's give this another 2 weeks because she just started. And and like before we add another day, like, we've kind of got you in a calorie deficit, which is in itself a little stressful.
Right.
We've gone through 1 week, which I'm glad you're feeling good, but like, let's give this 2 more weeks and just see what your body composition does, how you're feeling, if you get sore, because adding another day might actually hinder your progress, right? Like, I don't want to add a stressful sixth day. She's a busy mom as well. Like, I know there's stuff plus, like I said, the calorie deficit, and just want to give her body a chance to actually like show her a response before we overload. It's a case of like where, I don't want to have to like pull back later. I'd rather add later, right? Than start too much and have to like pull back on the string, 2 weeks from now. So yeah, it is. It's why everybody's case is different, right? Like it has to be an N equals one. And this is why like going and buying a program off the internet, like maybe that's a good idea for some to get started. And like sometimes that works. I totally get it. But sometimes it's nice to have a reassuring voice or somebody that's like, hey, like this what you're doing is enough. Like sometimes it's those two are former athletes. Like I know I'm going to have to pull them back. I remember that brain. I know what it's like I'm still in that brain of like more is better. And it's not always better. Like quality is better. Having the ability this is permission, right? Like giving athletes the permission to just know that what they're doing is enough. Like
Yes.
your current routine is enough. Let's let it play out, see what happens, reassess. If we need to add more, awesome. But let's not like overfill the bucket right from the
Yeah.
beginning and then drown you.
Yeah. And that's a great analogy, Sheena. It's like there's such a thing of overtraining and undereating, right? It's this balance.
Mhm.
And each person has to have the right amount of fuel or the proper nutrition for them based on their level of training to get the right stimulus, food wise and training wise, to get the result they're going for.
Mhm.
Right. And the first client you talked about, there was no mention of weight loss, none at all. Right. It was all about consistency in her training. That was her goal. this second client you talked about, I don't know what her goal was, but it's going to be different for everyone. Is she by any chance in perimenopause or menopause or
I don't think so. I don't think so yet. We haven't had that discussion yet. She does have 2 kids. She's probably near my age, but I don't think she hasn't noted any of those symptoms yet. So,
okay.
yeah, she could still be riding high.
So how about can you talk about a client? I know you have a client who does quite a bit of travel from
Yes.
Chicago out to the West Coast for work and you're doing training for her, you're writing programming. So what do you do with someone like that? Because I think, we definitely want to talk about somebody who is either in perimenopause or menopause and how you've adjusted it, if at all.
Yeah. Yeah. She's awesome. So we have been working together for quite a while, which is great 'cause she's gone through a few transitions of life. He, um, yeah, where do I start with her? She's just so
How
awesome.
old is
She's such a
she?
smile.
How old is she?
She's
Okay.
Yes. So, no, not yet. Sorry. High 50s. High 50s.
Okay.
But I want to overage her.
Okay.
Uh, yes. Professional, works very hard, lots of travel,
Mhm.
went through menopause. I think we were not working together yet, but experienced some weight gain during menopause and just a lot of hormonal shifts. She's so good about though. Since we started working together, she has put together like her team, which I think is awesome. So she's got a really good functional med doctor. She's got a really good OB that helps with HRT now.
Mhm.
Really good. Like she battles some EOE stuff too. So like some digestive, like the I can't remember the full name for
Oh, with
that.
the acronym? Yeah.
Yeah, like just trouble with swallowing. Sometimes there could be flare ups.
Mhm.
But
The
yeah, history of
esophageal disorder, right?
thank
Okay.
you. Yes, yes. But yeah, like really good history again. Like we worked together previously in Chicago in our earlier days, and so we've got a personal training. Like I used to actually work with her one on one in person. Which was great. And so we found each other kind of later in life, if you will, and mostly just started with nutrition work and really like took her through like some reverse dieting stuff, worked on getting her just like back into feeling good about like she found some fitness stuff that she liked doing on her own. And then later, when I came back into doing more programming, I offered that to her, and I think that's where we just started really making some really good changes. She works out consistently now 4 days a week. She travels on Mondays. She does a red eye flight to the West Coast, and she's got like her own little apartment gym set up. So two of her workouts are based on things that she's doing there, like equipment that she has available there. We always include some walking for her, which is huge. She loves walking, so we include like two to 3.5 mile walks. That's a part of her workout, and this is cool because like learning the psychology of people. Like sometimes if we just say get your steps in, like she'll know it, but if I put it as part A of her workout is like 2 mile walk. She'll check
Yes.
that box. Like she is a box checker. She is like if you tell her to like if you write it down, it gets done. And like I've learned so much about how her psychology works. It's very similar to mine, so it's easy. But I know like when to push her, and like she's one again. Like we just had this discussion a couple of weeks ago of like if I give her a rep range of like let's say she's doing goblet squats, 8 to 10 reps, her brain will naturally kind of be like eight's enough, right? And she'll do a good weight, and like I believe that she's doing the weights that she says, and she writes down everything, and but now we've kind of get to the point where like now I'll just say 10 reps, and she can lo and behold she can do the same weight for 10 reps if I tell her to do 10, right? So we like week after week we've just started kind of ramping up the reps, or if I like increase the weight I'll bring it, and she kind of like she just needs the confidence from me to tell her that she can do the weight that's appropriate, right? To get the strength response that we want out of it. And so yeah, that's been really fun, and like challenging her with new movements. Like she's always eager to buy new equipment, and we've got her doing some cool landmine work, right? Like keeping fitness fun in that sense. Like it doesn't always have to be the same old stuff.
Mhm.
But yeah, so two strength workouts in San Jose area, and then she comes home and she's got a full gym set up, and her husband work out together on the weekends, which is awesome. And she feels a little bit, I think, more comfortable with him there. So like she can do heavier workouts on Saturdays and
Yeah,
Sundays
that makes
together.
sense.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
But it remains the same, right? Like, so yes, like she's through menopause now, and like she's on, good support for HRT. She's strength training like crazy. I mean, not like crazy, but like she's building muscle. She knows that that's like important for her. Like keeping muscle and building muscle is important for her. She manages her nutrition beautifully. Like it's just a fun place to be.
Great.
She's so healthy.
Amazing. So it sounds like with her, first of all, like the psychology of how people think. That's
Mhm.
really a big part of what we do that I think sometimes, we're not therapists. We don't claim to be, we don't want to be, but we do need to know what motivates people. We have to figure that out because, the more we know about how your brain thinks and how you feel good about yourself and what motivates you to keep going, that's going to help us develop the right plan, whether it's for fitness or nutrition. So, but what I'm hearing is that there really wasn't that much different back to like, do you need to make different changes based on what stage of life you're in hormonally or not? It sounds like the fact that she was postmenopausal didn't really come into the picture that much.
Not for me. I don't,
Yeah.
I think it's like I get to that point where it's like I always want to make sure the lowest hanging fruit is what we're looking at first, right? Like like strength train, like is the frequency there? Is the consistency there? Is the
Mhm.
nutrition there? And like you can spend years just working on those three things, right? Like
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be. It's really I don't find that there's a magic formula for reps and sets and rest and like you know I- if we add in a circuit of whatever, burpees and kettlebell swings and row sprints, like that's not going to be the differentiating factor for whether or not you get leaner or like it really is about like the whole picture. And like I think most importantly to look at is how consistent have you been? How frequent have you been? And can you keep doing this, right? It's not, there isn't like this magic little formula that I think sometimes we're led to believe there is, right? Like, and that's what sells, right? Like the, it's, I
Oh,
get
yeah,
it.
that's the hype. I've got the solution. I've got this magic little, yeah, it's even harder with social media. So I think that's well said, Sheena, right? Is that consistency and something that is going to motivate you to do what you want to do. And I think people might say, wah, wah, like, wait, I was waiting for you guys to give us something more exciting than that. Sorry, we're not here. We're talking about real life, real bodies, right?
Yep. Yep. And sometimes like I'll have the conversation with people where it's like if they really truly like they don't like lifting weights and that's okay. Like I'm not going to force you to to get on a gym and do the leg extension or like grab some dumbbells and curl. Like I mean, at my gym I've seen people do like those bar classes or like Pilates with reformers. Like that looks hard as hell. Like I don't want anything to do with that. And like I would love my exercise if that's what it was, right? Like but there are people that do like that, and, like, there's a way to make that like, there that's still resistance, right? Like, you're still doing, like, crazy push-ups and, like, balancing and yoga and, like, all of it. Like, I think you and I are on the same page. It's like, just find something that you like to do. Make sure you're challenging your body in a way that, like, is appropriate. It's stressful enough that if you have a goal of, adding muscle, like, there probably has to be some type of resistance in there, but, if you can't do 1 push-up, doing 2 3, 4 push-ups, that's resistance training still. Like your body is resisting weight. That still counts. So
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, wherever you start, like meet, I don't know, like find it's okay to like meet you where you're at, right? I just think it's yeah, it is more important to figure out what you like doing, what you'll do consistently, and doing stuff that you enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a great spot to end.
I did all the talking today.
I mean, we were gonna talk about, like, HRT but I
Yeah.
think we've spent, 30 minutes. I think it's good. We maybe next week we'll talk about, strength training is a big part of perimenopause and menopause. Resistance training, like you said, you
Mhm.
can use body weight. There are other things that you can do. Could be a Pilates reformer that can help with bone density and can help you manage hot flashes and some other symptoms. That's one piece of it. The other piece of it is nutrition, hormone replacement therapy, and lifestyle factors. I mean, we could do 10 episodes on that. So, I think for today, talking about the training is enough. And, it just comes back to what's a personalized approach and don't overcomplicate it and say, I'm in perimenopause now. I have to completely change what I'm doing.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's a good spot.
Just keep being consistent.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for all the info. That was great hearing your clients.
I
One of
mean,
them,
they're doing it. They're doing the hard work and yeah, we're I love the ones that we're collaborating on because it's super fun.
it is exciting. We have a little group text for some of our clients, and I've really enjoyed work. I'm learning a lot too, because Sheena is the certified trainer and professional, and just kind of reigniting my excitement for like pre-workout fuel and post-workout and how are you recovering? And yeah, it's been great. So hopefully more to come.
Have a good
Sounds
week.
good. All right, you too.